championship begins with one small step. It starts with the effort you bring. Whether you win or lose, what matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a united team acting as one. We come together to witness these heroes of the hardwood pour their heart and soul onto the court. This is High School Hoops presented by NEPAbasketball.com.
From the Bozinski Gymnasium in Nanticoke, Pennsylvania, MyTV WQMY presents High School Hoops. Tonight, the GAR Grenadiers take on the greater Nanticoke area Trojans. Good evening, everybody. I am Paul Grippy, along with Bob Ide. Pre-game festivities here in the gym as we are set for senior night here at Nanticoke. This should be one of the best games in the district, and we could probably say in the last week of the season, this is the battle for Division II of the Wyoming Valley Conference.
That's right, Paul. They're both 10-4 coming in. This is the game that everyone's looked for. We take a look at the standings right now. Nanticoke has one game left. GAR has 2 games left, including a meeting with Myers at the end of the week, which will be the last meeting all time between the 2 schools. So whoever wins tonight definitely has a shot at getting the division title, but not only that, they're going to make it to the Wyoming Valley Conference tournament.
Okay, a little closer look at these 2 teams. First, for the visiting GAR Grenadiers, the Astra Wealth Advisor spotlight player, we're going to look at Jared O'Day.
Jared O'Day. They needed a second scorer behind Will Johnson. They found Jared O'Day. He stepped up last year. He's averaging 8.3 points per game this year, 27 threes. But what the coach likes about him, his enthusiasm. He gets the team psyched up. He plays great defense, and they're going to need that tonight against Nanticoke.
Okay, and for the home team, Nanticoke, the Astra Wealth Advisor spotlight player of the game is Trahan Krupinski.
Look for him inside. He's their inside threat, 6'3", 10.6 points per game, 9.1 rebounds per game. That leads the team. We were here last year for Tunkhannock. That's when he hurt his knee. He's made a great recovery, and they're going to need him tonight.
Okay, both teams play a little bit different style, and we're going to watch that closely. Right now, let's check out our Toyota keys to the game.
First, for GAR, they want to run in transition. They want to keep Nanticoke back. They want to keep Nanticoke in a half-court offense. So they're going to run in transition, and they got to get Will Johnson open. Look for Nanticoke tonight, maybe play a little 2-3 zone to cut down his drives. And it's simple for the Trojans. Stop the dribble penetration of Will Johnson, of O'Day. And they have to contain the big shooters for Nanticoke. They like to shoot threes here for the Trojans, and they're going to shoot a lot tonight.
All right, today marks the halfway point of winter, but the final week of the regular season. Sit back, stay tuned for boys basketball. This is High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY.
This is High School Hoops presented by NEPAbasketball.com.
Pre-game introductions underway, and we'll take a look at the visiting team GAR, coached by Jerry Altavilla. Starting at center, number 4, Sean Adamson. At forward, number 21, Curtis Smith. Jared O'Day, number 5, he's the guard. Tyler Young wears number 11, he's the other guard. And Will Johnson wears number 3. And as for the home team, Nanticoke, coached by John Beggs, starting lineup looks like this. Trahan Krupinski wears number 20. Number 33 is Brandon Fontaine at forward. Another forward, number 22, Jake Krupinski. At guard is number 35, Dylan Shahusky. And wearing number 2, playing point guard, Nate Kreitzer. And the Nanticoke players pretty fired up. We had pregame ceremonies. It is senior night, and they honor the senior cheerleaders and the senior basketball players, and quite a few of them here tonight. Long list, and many of them are starters. Many of the varsity seniors are starters for this team. Officials for tonight's game: Mike Purcell, John Callahan, and John Sinonis. And we're about set for tip-off.
Fontaine getting the start at Nanticoke, honoring the seniors, but Drake Krupinski, the 6'1 sophomore, he'll be in pretty quickly. Of course, he's Trajan's brother.
Trahan Krupinski will jump for the Trojans. Curtis Smith for GAR. Curtis wearing the pink socks. All right, we got to get everyone in here on the handshakes before we start this thing. And we're just about set for tip-off. Nanticoke will be in the home whites, and they will shoot to the basket to your right. And GAR in the road blues, and they'll be going to your left here in the first half. Tip is up. Nanticoke wins it. Nate Kreitzer, and he tosses it over to Colby Baczynski. Baczynski walks it up nice and slow.
GAR will start on the man-to-man. Kreitzer.
Baczynski down low inside to Trahan Krupinski, and a quick 2 points for him.
You want to get the big guy started in the middle, and that's the right thing to do.
Will Johnson works the point for the Grenadiers, and he'll call out a play. Left side, here's Young. Young dribbles, checks the defense, and back to the right side, there's Johnson.
Again, Trojans will play mostly man-to-man during the season, coming out to 2-3 zone.
Johnson looks inside, quick pass to Adamson, but off his hands and then out of bounds. It's a turnover, and the Trojans will get the ball back.
GAR is not going to go inside. It's dribble penetration that they want to do. And there's the last meeting. Of course, they met a year ago, and Nanticoke won.
Yeah, they only play once a season despite being in the same division. Baczynski on the backdoor cut. He goes in, lays one off the glass, and it's 4-0 Trojans.
GAR just overplaying on defense, trying to get the steal, and he made a great cut towards the basket, even better pass.
Johnson being very deliberate, setting up his offense. And now the Grenadiers start to work it into the corner. Down low to Adamson, drives baseline. The dish to Smith, and he converts and gets GAR's first 2 points.
Anything they can get inside from Smith is going to be a bonus tonight.
Here's Kreitzer, left-hand dribble, finding some defense, looking to pass out of it, but the ball gets loose. Baczynski picks it up. Nanticoke keeps possession.
Johnson on Kreitzer. You'll see that matchup most of the night.
Baczynski gets the screen. Little pick and roll to Krupinski. Dishes off to Kreitzer. Drives on the left side. Can't get the shot to go. And the rebound bounces around, but it's Baczynski who pulls it in.
If you're GAR, you have to pull that in quick.
Baczynski for three, in and out. Smith with the rebound. Grenadiers up the floor.
Good job by the Trojans to get back on transition.
Here's Young. Oh, long three-point attempt by Johnson, and it is all nylon as GAR takes the lead 5-4 with the three-pointer.
41st three of the season, leading scorer in the district.
Kreitzer working the point now, dribbling with the right hand this time.
Usually we see Kreitzer hit from that long range, and there you go, on cue.
Kreitzer for three, it's a miss. Baczynski with the tip in, and he gets that to drop. Baczynski asserting himself early on.
Smith has to box out better.
Young with the awkward shot, and the whistle blows. He was fouled in the act of shooting, so it'll go to the line, and he'll shoot two. Jerry Altavilla in his third season with Nanticoke has his team playing well.
Yeah, 12 years with GAR. He was the assistant under Coach Brown. Young shooting 56% on the year. Looked pretty good on that first shot.
First foul for Fontaine.
And Fontaine will exit. Hey, if you're going to make a start and you're a senior, why not put your name in the book, get a foul.
And Young's second free throw is also good. 7-6 now. GAR takes the lead.
Nanticoke averages around 58 points per game through the year. Their biggest thing, Paul, 126 three-pointers on the season.
Not that time. Inside to Trahan Krupinski, and he turns and scores quickly, and the lead goes back to the home team. Will Johnson with the ball in his hand shows he's not afraid to shoot from anywhere on the floor. Deep three-pointer on their last possession.
GAR missing Karan Smith, Curtis's brother.
Johnson releasing one again, way up high, but it's no good. And the rebound pulled in.
Smith got injured last night in their win against Berwick.
Jake Krupinski straight up the floor off that rebound. He gets the awkward shot to go. It's 10-7 Nanticoke.
Both teams shooting pretty well here early on, as expected.
Here's Young over on the left side.
GAR averaging 63 points per game. Again, a big win last night against Berwick.
GAR turns it over. Kreitzer comes up the floor. Tosses the dish to Jake Krupinski, slashes to the basket, and Krupinski with 4 quick points off the bench. We've got a timeout here. And Krupinski finishes.
Nanticoke so far early on, taking it right to the rack, trying to get easy layups, and they have done that so far.
So our marquee matchup tonight, Will Johnson against Nate Kreitzer. We've already seen Johnson attempt 2 3-pointers from long range. He did make one of them, and Nate Kreitzer has shown some good penetration move for a guy not all that tall out there, shortest player on the floor, and he's not afraid to go right to the basket and mix it up inside with the big guys.
Not too bad for our Matic Agency nationwide marquee matchup, one of the better ones we've seen this season. Will Johnson averaging 27 points, Kreitzer 18 points. Both of those guys like to shoot the threes, and both will be playing at the next level. We just don't know where yet.
Will Johnson over the left side. Here is Young. Down low inside. Curtis Smith launches the three. It's no good. Rebound gets loose on the floor, but Nanticoke comes away with it. Dylan Shahusky picks it up. And on the other end, ball knocked out of bounds. It's loose. So we'll take a break. It's 12-7 Nanticoke. Stay with us. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY.
PNC Bank knows that every day is game day and is proud to support high school basketball. From tip-off to buzzer beater, we know you work hard to make the most of the day, and we're there to help you find ways to get to the next level with your finances. Learn more at pnc.com.
Okay, so the ball was knocked out of bounds when we last left you, and Nanticoke will maintain possession. Jake Krupinski stands right in front of us, and he'll toss it into Nate Kreitzer.
Kind of the pace I anticipated to see. Both teams like to get outrun a little bit. GAR has to do a little bit better on the inside. Too much dribble penetration from Nanticoke tonight.
Shahusky down inside to Krupinski. First one no good, rebound no good. And Jared O'Day pulls it in. Here comes GAR, here's Johnson. Out to O'Day for three, yes he has that one. Jared O'Day gets his first points of the game.
30th three on the year, a little awkward shot, but looked good from this side.
And it's a 2-point game here in the first quarter. This is a high-scoring first quarter. Very few missed shots. Here's Kreitzer, a three attempt from the corner, and he has that one down.
He gets heated up. We've seen that before. He can hit from almost half court if need be, and so could that guy too, Johnson.
A 3-point exchange now going on between these two teams. Young up top to Johnson. Nanticoke, good defense. Every player has their hands up in the air, just like coach teaches it. Young tries to dribbles it off his leg and out of bounds, so turned over to Nanticoke.
Good defense from Nanticoke in that 2-3 zone to get him out of bounds. And of course, when Kreitzer launches, it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to go in the basket. He doesn't miss too often. He had 43 points this year against Coughlin.
All-time school 3-point record holder, Nate Kreitzer here at Nanticoke. Shahusky to Baczynski over on the right side. Now Krupinski drives the baseline, kicks it into the corner. Another 3-point attempt, and that one is good. It is raining 3-pointers from the ceiling of the Baczynski Gymnasium. 8-point lead for Nanticoke. Here's the answer from GAR. O'Day with the three. That's no good.
They're going to trade threes. Advantage Nanticoke.
Kreitzer, baseline drive. Awkward shot is no good. That'll be a turnover. Adamson brings it up. Now Johnson with the spin move, falls to the floor. Shot is no good. GAR wanted a whistle, didn't get it. I think he did trip over his own feet. And here's Kreitzer with a chance to build upon that 8-point lead. Kreitzer dribbles through some traffic. Baczynski for three. Oh my! What are we seeing here tonight? 7 points for Kobe Baczynski, and it's an 11-point Nanticoke
What
lead.
we're seeing is just how well the Trojans can shoot the ball. All 5 players on the court can shoot behind the arc. That's what makes Nanticoke so dangerous and why they're going to be dangerous in the District 2 playoffs. First, they were a state qualifier last year.
Young dribbles and then dishes, and then Adamson gets the 2-pointers to drop again. His first points of this game. All 5 starters now have points for the Grenadiers.
9-2 run, Paul, by Nanticoke.
Kreitzer. Tries to pass it down low inside. Pass stolen by Adamson. And then Baczynski steals it back for Nanticoke. Baczynski now has the ball knocked away by Smith. Young up the floor, and he loses the handle. I think we had a foul on the play, yes.
No whistle on any of those hands, but I think it was a good non-call on both sides.
Jake Krupinski committed the foul. So Husky will head to the bench. And J.J. Bilecki comes in for the Trojans. That was not in the act of shooting, so GAR will inbounds it.
2 fouls for the home team, none for the visitors.
There's Johnson. Cross-court pass to Young. Up top, there's O'Day. And now Johnson from three-pointer, short off the rim. And O'Day gathers it and scores it.
No box out by either team tonight on the rebounding. That one worked right to O'Day.
Here's Jake Krupinski. We do have Krupinski brothers playing in this game.
Last second shot coming up in this first quarter, Paul. They're going to play for the last shot.
Nate Kreitzer with the ball in his hands. Johnson on defense. Kreitzer wants to drive, kicks it out into the corner, and there's Bilecki, no good. And the horn sounds at the end of the first quarter. It's Nanticoke 21, GAR 14. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY.
Don't forget to check out NEPAbasketball.com for scores and stories on all the local basketball games on both the high school and college levels. Make NEPAbasketball.com part of your daily routine for following the entire season of local high school and college basketball. Check out scores, schedules, rankings, roundups, game stories, players of the week, and other features. Visit NEPAbasketball.com.
We'll start the second quarter, and the Grenadiers will have the ball. Johnson tosses it into Young and hands it back to Johnson. Nanticoke continues in their zone defense. It worked well for them in the first quarter. Johnson, right side to O'Day. And there's Young. GAR moves the ball around. They don't let one player hold on too long. Here's O'Day looking for some open floor. Steps up into the two-point range. His shot is no good. Here's Adamson with the rebound. Smith and then out to Young. Johnson on the left side now. He played the entire first quarter on the right side. O'Day over to Young in front of the Nanticoke bench. He launches a three and it's good. Tyler Young with the shorts hiked up. Buries home the three-pointer to get GAR within 4.
13th three of the year. And has anybody not made a three here tonight, Paul? Except for you and I?
They've all made it. We have a double dribble called on Dylan Shahusky. And GAR will get possession.
Well, that's one thing. Neither team will be out of it. And a lead will not be safe. And that was NBA-type range. So both teams feeling it here. Must be a nice gym to shoot at.
6 threes in the game, 3 for each team. Johnson's thinking about it, and he launches it. Might as well. Bounces high off the heel of the rim, and that's considered out of bounds, so Nanticoke will get the ball.
Well, no one's afraid to put it up here.
No.
No doubt.
The old
John Beggs.
The old saying, if it feels like leather, shoot it. And Nate Kreitzer with the ball.
102 wins for Coach Beggs.
Shahusky. Here's Krupinski. Over to his brother Jake Krupinski, who has an easy path to the rim. And he scored 9 points for Jake Krupinski off the bench tonight. He's the leading scorer for the Trojans. Here's O'Day. Shahusky on defense on him. Johnson, O'Day. Here's Kelly. Or here's Young. Tyler Young.
Trojans giving up about 45 points per game. They're sticking in that 2-3 zone. They'll let GAR shoot those long threes because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to make them.
O'Day buries another three, his second of the game.
Maybe I should say 6 out of 10.
8 points for Jared O'Day. Kreitzer now defended by Johnson. And GAR now in a man-to-man defense.
8-2 run by the Grenadiers.
Shahusky hands it off to Krupinski. They call him for a travel. Yes, he did move his feet on that. So turnover, and Nanticoke turns it over to GAR.
Yeah, some unforced turnovers by Nanticoke on what is a basic pass. Here you see it again. They just run right into each other. That's
Moved his feet without dribbling. That is considered a travel.
not something you see, especially from this experienced team.
A little confusion because GAR came out with that man-to-man defense there, I think. Now, here's GAR on offense, working the perimeter like they have all game. They seem to be looking for open space on this zone defense to attempt the three. It's worked fairly well for them so far.
Yeah, points in the paint advantage going to this team right here.
Baczynski on the steal, straight to the basket, and the easy layup for Colby Baczynski.
Well, the GAR defense, they ran right by him. Both of the players. That was an easy layup, but good hands, good anticipation from Baczynski.
Young to Adamson in the corner baseline. We have a whistle, some contact. I guess it was on the floor. Baczynski with the foul, his first.
Let's see what kind of set now. They'll run out of bounds. Here, you see that last steal from the junior.
Yeah, token defense there. No one from GAR wanted to foul Baczynski, so they let him have that easy basket.
So Young brings it all the way back out.
Okay, Young up top here. Here's Smith trying to get in on the action. Hey, he gets a three-pointer. Curtis Smith with 5 points in the game. And now GAR within 2.
Smith, 9th three of the year.
Wow, looked as smooth as can be. Kreitzer off balance, drops it. He has 5 points.
Speaking of smooth, one of the best strokes you're going to see in the Valley.
Here's Young, O'Day, back to Young, and GAR works the ball around looking for open space. It's almost like a hockey power play. Just keep moving and watching how the defense shifts, looking for a crack. O'Day misses the shot, and Kreitzer, Bilecki will bring it up. Now Baczynski.
Nanticoke had a tough time on Myers last Saturday, just beat them by just 1 point. They lost to Wyoming Seminary this year and Holy Redeemer so far.
Bilecki on the left side. Jake Krupinski in the corner now. Adamson on the defense. Krupinski in the lane, has to pull up, take the shot, it's no good. Young pulls down the board. Young works it up the floor and right to the basket for an easy layup. Tyler Young coast to coast.
Has the Nanticoke players looking at one another, split those guys.
2-point game here. For a while it looked like Nanticoke was going to pull away, but GAR has reversed course. Kreitzer, a nice smooth three-pointer. His second of the game. Nate Kreitzer with 8 points.
Give him any open space to take a shot from that range. It's going to go in the basket.
Young answering with the three, and he bangs it home. We're going for 100 points in this game. Tyler Young's second three. 10 points for Tyler Young.
Nanticoke this year put up 85 on Valley West, but mostly they've been around the 60 mark.
Kreitzer's gonna try again. Not quite. Krupinski on the rebound, the putback, he's fouled. All right, we're gonna take a break. It's 30-28. Nanticoke leads here in the second. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV, WQMY.
This is High School Hoops presented by NEPABasketball.com.
High School Hoops is brought to you by Keystone College. Experience the open house on Saturday, February 20th. Student and parents register at keystone.edu.
A lot of enthusiasm in the Baczynski Gymnasium tonight. Nanticoke cheerleaders of all ages lined up and showing tons of excitement here. This is a big game for them. It's senior night, and we're seeing a good contest. 30-28, and we still have 2:51 left in the half. That's a high-scoring game.
It is. Count how many threes each team has so far, Paul. But Paul's going to do that math, but it's got to be up there. There hasn't been that many field goals. There's just been 3-pointers.
5 for GAR and 4 for Nanticoke.
Seems like a lot more than that.
Okay, when we last saw you, Trahan Krupinski was stepping to the free throw line to attempt 2. And his first one is no good. That foul was committed by Tyler Young. That's only the first team foul for GAR.
Well, when you're going up and down the court like this and passing that ball from baseline to baseline, sideline to sideline, there's no reason to foul. They're shooting threes.
And his second one is good. 5 points for this game for Trahan Krupinski. GAR comes out and runs into that zone defense. A couple of things, you know, on the one hand, Nanticoke is leading, but they have given up 28 points, and you wonder if at some point John Beggs might change that defense to man-to-man.
I think as long as they're out there winning, he feels good, because once GAR can get into that penetration down the lane, that opens them right up. But maybe, you know, you'd rather take a 2 than a 3. Nice pass by Johnson.
Johnson tries to force one, but again, off the hands of Adamson, turned over to Nanticoke.
That was a no-look pass. That's why, you know, he may end up going to a nice school like maybe Lackawanna College or something, get to the next level. He has the speed. He's 6 foot, you know, not the best size, but he has a lot of quickness.
Here's Baczynski for Nanticoke and Krupinski. You notice a lot of Polish names here, and that's the neighborhood that we live in. Nanticoke known for that. Baczynski again, they don't call him from the travel, they let him go. His basket is no good, ball is loose. Johnson picks it up. And Johnson shoved down at this end of the floor, on the floor, not in the act of shooting, so they'll inbounds. And who committed that foul?
I think it was 23, Paul, Andy Kozlowski. Yep.
All right, off the bench, and he gets his name on the score sheet by committing a foul.
Very fast first half, but GAR really has not been able to get out and run. GAR has a couple, Nanticoke has a couple steals.
Young, now O'Day launches the quick 3, the release no good. Smith pulls it in, and the rebound is tied up. It's a jump ball, and Nanticoke will have it.
Good job by Smith. He was boxing out Krupinski. Now, this is what GAR does now most games. They'll set up that 1-3-1 press.
Nanticoke beats it to Baczynski. Then over to Kozlowski. His first shot is no good, but Krupinski pulls it in and puts it back. 5-point lead now for Nanticoke.
Nanticoke, GAR did a nice job playing defense. They just couldn't pick up the defensive board.
Johnson, Kozlowski on defense. Johnson doesn't care. He puts up the 3. It is no good. Krupinski pulls in his 3rd rebound. Here he comes. Over to the left corner. That's Kozlowski for 3. Might as well. Everyone's getting in on the 3-point action. Quickly down the floor. Kreitzer loses the ball and draws the foul.
11th 3 for the junior for Nanticoke.
All right, I had that wrong. Kreitzer committed the foul.
Yep.
And that is the 15th foul for Nanticoke here in this half.
GAR with just 1 foul in this half.
Yeah. Smith with the pink socks. 3-point attempt is no good.
He didn't really catch that clean.
Krupinski with the rebound. Kreitzer tries the cross-court pass. Johnson steals it. Johnson up the floor, looking to beat the entire defense. To O'Day on the side for 3. Yes! Jared O'Day hits his 3rd 3 of this game. 11 points for the sharpshooter. Baczynski with 16 seconds to go.
See if they play for the last second shot. They will. Now, GAR will get back in that man-to-man defense.
Jake Krupinski, left-hand dribble, loses the handle. GAR comes up the court, and they turn it over. And at the buzzer, the shot is no good. Hits the rafters. And that'll end the first half, although we might have a question here. Hold on. The referees are meeting to see if we should resume that because it hit the rafters and was out of bounds. Not true, so that will be the end of the first half, with Nanticoke leading GAR 36-31. We'll be back with the halftime show. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV, WQMY.
High School Hoops on MyTV is presented by NEPAbasketball.com, Toyota Let's Go Places, Lucerne County Community College, Keystone College, Manuka Subaru, Astra Wealth Advisors, and by the nationwide Maddock Agency.
We are at halftime of tonight's game, and joining me right now is Kevin Clark, the general manager and head coach of the Scranton Shamrocks. So, Kevin, good to see you, but who are the Scranton Shamrocks?
Thanks for having me, Bob. Scranton Shamrocks are Northeast PA's, one of Northeast PA's ABA basketball teams, the American Basketball Association. So what we do is we have a ton of our local athletes, and they participate in the ABA, which is a semi-pro team. This is kind of right below the G League. So what they have is there's 143 teams in the ABA and separated into 6 or 7 different regions. We're in the Northeast region, which is typically one of the strongest regions, with teams ranging from New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, and it's a lot of tough, really, really good competition.
When you say local players, why don't you give us some of the guys we can see on a night when we see the Scranton Shamrock?
Yeah, we have a ton of them. Steph Draper, who went to Scranton High School, Connor Calais, who went to Holy Cross, Corey Calais, who went to Valley View, Brandon Angrati, who was at Delaware Valley, Dom Hill at West Scranton. All of these homegrown guys, Northeast PA guys, make up a semi-pro team, which I think speaks a lot for our area and the community that we have, and how molded basketball is within our community, and it can really help push these guys along the way.
Kevin Clark has played and coached at the top level of collegiate basketball. But
after a lot of guys after college, you don't get the opportunity to keep competing and playing, and to have this semi-professional opportunity, it's nice to have that outlet to keep competing and playing against high-level talent, and just getting out and just playing the game that we all love.
How about the league you play in? I know there's a lot of teams, but what's the competition like?
It's tough. There's a lot, especially the division that we're in up in the east up here. There's 5 or 6 teams that have all been at some point ranked in the top 25, and so every weekend it's a tough competition.
What type of brand basketball will we see? What do we see? Is it up and down? What type of basketball?
Fast, athletic. It's a lot of fun. We definitely get up and down.
A little bit different than high school and college, right? And why?
A lot different than high school and college, especially in this area. I believe our area is plays the game a little bit slower compared to other areas. So at this level in college basketball, high-level college basketball, it's super fast, and it's an experience playing.
One of the neat things I noticed for the Scranton Shamrocks is your involvement in the community. How important is that?
Yeah, if you're not involved in community, these guys are seen as role models. So the first thing we want to do, no matter what the wins and loss record is, we want to be able to give back to our youth. You saw today at camp, having about 50 kids in a 10-day notice speaks volumes for the Shamrocks and what we're capable of bringing to this community.
So Kevin, if people want to find out information about the Scranton Shamrocks, how do they do that?
We have a website, www.scrantonshamrocksaba.com. It has everything that you need to look for, different camps, community involvement, roster, schedule, anything that you can imagine. And then anything else you may be able to find would be on backcourthoops.com.
And your games are played where?
A variety of venues. Right now we're decided to come back and play in our home venue, which is Backcourt Hoops, which is a fun environment for the kids. We always do a youth game before, so anybody who's interested in doing a game before the Shamrocks can contact me and we'll set something up. And they play right before, like I said.
Thanks, Kevin, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, we're at the half, and we'll be right back after this.
Halftime in the Basinski Gymnasium in Nanticoke has the Trojans leading the Grenadiers 36-31. That is a high-scoring first half. Good, exciting offensive basketball. A lot of three-pointers.
A lot of three-pointers. What do you think? 6 for GAR, 5 for Nanticoke. It seems like all the starters have at least 1 3. Not much on the inside, other than Nanticoke has been getting that penetration down the middle. GAR a little bit, not as much in the paint. For points in the paint, but overall a nice half. The biggest lead in the first half, Paul, was 9, and that was by Nanticoke.
So it was a back and forth first half, and now we're here at halftime. It's only a 5-point game. Let's take a look at some of the exciting highlights. Very few missed shots. That's why it's such a high-scoring game here.
Krapinski, Trajan, with a couple of points for there, and then outside Will Johnson with his only 3-pointer. Kreitzer answers. Nope, Spachinski on the tip-in. He's played really well. Then it was Jake Krapinski. Then that was, who was that?
Jake Krapinski again, yeah.
And then O'Day from downtown, feeling it. Kreitzer in the corner for a couple threes for him today. Again from Jake Krapinski. And Baczynski with his only 3.
Back and forth these guys go.
And that's
The rebound
O'Day.
and the
That was
putback,
a rare field goal. Young from downtown, he's got a couple of bombers. And so does O'Day. He has 3. He's the leading scorer for GAR. Nice steal by Baczynski. Nice layup. Kreitzer off a screen. And then again, Young, as I mentioned, a couple downtown shots for him. Corner pocket.
Kozlowski came off the bench. He's got 3 points, all on that shot there. So we've really seen high scoring, quick pace, exciting basketball. That's the kind of thing we like. Let's take a look around the area in District 2, our PNC Players of the Week.
Mariah Murray from Dunmore had a nice game on their Saturday against state-ranked Loyal Sox. 17 points for her. She made a couple of big threes at the end of the game. She had 16 against Carbondale in a game last week, and she had 8 points against Mid-Valley. And we see him tonight. Will Johnson from GAR is our other PNC Boys Player of the Week. 68 points scored in 2 games last week, 35 against Tunkhannock, 33 against Northwest. Tonight, though, he only has 3 points, so Nanticoke did a nice job on the district's leading scorer.
But Johnson has quite a few assists. He is the guy who moves the ball around for GAR. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with the third quarter here at the Baczynski Gymnasium, where Nanticoke leads by 5. You're watching High School Hoops on my TV, WQMY. We'll get ready to start the second half here, and GAR will be in their road blue uniforms. And they'll start with the opening possession of the third quarter. Now shooting at the basket to our right, Nanticoke in their home whites, and they'll be shooting in the basket to your left on your screen. Paul Grippy with Bob Ide, happy to be with you on the last week of the high school basketball regular season. We have a good one. 5 points separate these two teams, and in the division standings, nothing separates them. They are tied upon top, so this game means something.
Yeah, both teams have 2 games left in the regular season.
Nanticoke has been zone all night, and they continue with that. Will Johnson works the left side and instructs his teammates on offense, looks for the screen. The pass inside is stolen. Krupinski up the court now to Kreitzer. Kreitzer to Baczynski, and Baczynski will work it up top. GAR works the man-to-man defense. Baczynski reads the defense. Here's Krupinski. Now Baczynski, as Krupinski cuts, tries to get the shot up, no good. The block by Smith. Krupinski on the rebound, tries to put back, it's no good. And GAR will come up the court.
I think Adamson got a block from behind.
Here's Adamson trying to shoot, no good. Baczynski pulls in the rebound. Baczynski with 4 rebounds.
One of the things Nanticoke wanted to do against GAR was limit their second chance points, and
Kreitzer with his third three-pointer of the game. 11 points tonight for the Nanticoke senior. 8-point lead. Here's Young on the right side.
Tough for GAR to double team Kreitzer when you're getting a screen.
Young drives right into 3 defenders. His shot is no good. Baczynski rebounds it from the floor, and Nanticoke will come up court. Kreitzer for 3, no good.
Now they got fouled a little bit, no call.
Here's Johnson, gonna pull it up short in the lane, and his shot drops for Will Johnson.
First field goal for Johnson. Let's see if he can get heated up. He averages 27 a game. He has 5 so far.
Baczynski nice and deliberate. Hands off to Kreitzer. Johnson guards him tightly. You can tell they put Johnson, their best defender, on Kreitzer.
They're going to try to set a screen now, though. Krupinski.
Jake Krupinski, the younger of the Krupinski brothers. Kreitzer now. Back to Krupinski. A lot of movement, setting some screens, trying to find some penetration lanes. There's Krupinski in the left side for 3. Yes, sir, he has it. That's his second 3 of the game. 14 points for Jake Krupinski. All off the bench. He didn't start tonight. Smith in the lane. gets a handle on it and goes to the basket for 2.
This is just an athletic game played by great athletes out here. They're just showing their moves off.
Johnson with the tight defense on Kreitzer, pushing and shoving. No whistles called there. Referees letting them play, and the fans like that kind of basketball. There's O'Day with the steal. Johnson's going to drive to the basket, dish it to Smith, and Smith suddenly has 2 more quick points.
See if GAR can get back within 5. That was the halftime lead. They have to do a better job getting on the shooters out of the man-to-man. Too many open shots.
Jake Krupinski, left-hand drive. Tosses it over to Trahan Krupinski, who gets the basket. A little brother action going. 7 points for Trahan Krupinski. We have not had a lot of missed shots in tonight's game. It has been a good shooting night. Here's Johnson for 3, and just as I say that, it's no good. Krupinski with his 4th rebound. Baczynski up the court. Krupinski's going to try from 3 from up top. That's no good. His brother rebounds it, misses on the putback. Then Jake gets back in there with his own rebound, the putback, and the foul.
Great hustle by the Trojans. They had 3 chances right there on the offensive boards. They make it count. He'll go to the line to shoot 1 to complete the 3-point play, but GAR needs to do a better job on the box out.
16 points in this game for Jake Krupinski with a chance to make it 17.
Maybe they should leave him on the bench more often.
Yeah, that's his new role, 6th man, and his free throw is good. That's the first free throw attempt of this half. Nanticoke 2 for 3 from the line tonight. Jerry Altavilla wants a timeout here. I don't blame him. They're down by 10 in the blink of an eye.
That's what the Trojans can do with their outstanding shooting and their hustle on the boards. They've been a deadly combination, shooting and rebounding tonight for Nanticoke.
Listen to this guy. Hey, we're excited tonight. All right, so looking at GAR's season, and they've been spotty over the past few games, alternating wins and losses over their last 4, but coming out with a good win against Valley West just the other night.
Yeah, but their losses are to some of the better teams in the Valley. Wyoming Seminary, Holy Redeemer, right in the District 3A standings. Crestwood's been on a roll. They're going to be a power in 5A, but they've beaten the teams they needed to beat. They have a couple of big games coming up on their schedule. As we know, Myers on Friday. And Coach said they're not looking ahead. He was worried that they're looking ahead to that big game on Friday. They are not. This is an important game if they want to win a division in their last season as a school.
You get the feeling down 10, 4 left in the third. GAR's got to pick it up a little bit and keep the scoring pace with Nanticoke.
I should say last year is an athletic program. The school will come later on.
There's a 3-point attempt from the right side for Young, and he is good. And that's his 3rd of the game. 13 points for Tyler Young tonight.
GAR can shoot the ball. They need a better job on playing the man-to-man here. And on defensive boards.
So Jake Krupinski up top here. Over to his brother, Trahan Krupinski. Now Nate Kreitzer. And GAR playing that man-to-man defense. Baczynski. Right side is Dylan Shahusky. Krupinski on the foul line. Back to Shahusky. A little shy about shooting. Baczynski's not, but Young plays such good defense, he thinks better of it. Kreitzer dribbles up top.
Running a little motion, but great job on defense by Johnson.
Oh, a lot of contact there. No whistle. Johnson steps over Kreitzer, has the ball, goes right to the basket. Attempts the shot. It's an offensive foul. Johnson called for the charge. And Nanticoke will take over. We'll take a break. It's 47-40 Trojans over Grenadiers in the 3rd. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV, WQMY.
The Backcourt Hoops Music Youth Center Co-ed basketball camp is scheduled for 4 days and 3 nights at Camp Tioga, located on 30 acres on the Endless Mountains in Thompson, PA. Campers can choose sleepover or commuting options. Boys and girls entering the 4th through 9th grades in the fall of 2019 are invited to attend. See backcourthoops.com for more details.
Flurry of action right there, right before the buzzer, and you see Nate Kreitzer with the ball. Will Johnson playing defense on him.
Maybe a couple fouls in there, but again, the refs are letting them play all night long. Maybe a trip, but definitely this was a charge. Good job by Shahusky taking the charge.
Dylan Shahusky, the only starter without any points, but there he really did a good job drawing the offensive foul off of Will Johnson. And now Nanticoke will take over with a 7-point lead in the third. Kuczynski's scoring has been quiet here in the third until now. Those are his first points of this quarter, and he has 11 in the game.
That's what the Grenadiers cannot let happen. You can't beat your guy off the dribble and get no help on the backside.
And Tyler Young here on the right side. Dribbles it up top. Johnson now. So Husky defends him. Johnson steps back. Here's Young thinking about the three, but changes his mind. And there is a three-pointer by Will Johnson.
That was a high arcing shot in front of some scouts here, and it's his, second three of the game. Green in the game now, number 23, Paul, for GAR.
And there's a three-pointer for Nanticoke to answer right back. We're trading threes. Here's Johnson driving and dishing, and it's Adamson, no good. Ball is loose, rebound by Krupinski. 6 rebounds for Jake Krupinski.
Kreitzer wearing number 32 now, Paul.
Here's Kreitzer over in the left corner. Did he change his jersey at some point?
He must have, because he wasn't wearing number 2. I don't know if it was ripped or something. He's wearing 32 now.
Okay, so they're confusing the announcer guys here, but that's all fun and part of the game. All right, Nanticoke wants to slow it down here. 1:05 left in the third, but the pace has been so furious. The guys are starting to get tired. Here is Kreitzer wearing number 32. He was 2.
Try to squeeze that through too much.
Johnson up to Adamson. Nope, that's Young.
Good job by Young.
Young in and then back out and then back in. His shot is no good. Adamson with the rebound.
Better job on the board from the Grenadiers. They will not play for the last second shot, by the way. A foul.
And we have a whistle. Was that a travel? No, that was a foul. A little shove in the back there. And that's Jake Krupinski, his second foul of the game. So GAR will inbound it underneath their own basket. 36 seconds left here in the third period.
Kozlowski back in the game for Nanticoke, 23, the junior.
Johnson quickly into Green. Green's shot is a miss.
Johnson got it right back.
And Johnson puts it up and makes the shot. And also fouled in the act.
Well, Coach Altavilla must have stressed rebounding one of the timeouts. Here you look at it again. So Green misses it, but no foul. Johnson just takes it right away, turns. Remember, he's a lefty. And there's the foul on the shot, and he can complete the three-point play.
Johnson's first trip to the foul line.
At 41 points this year against Lake Lehman, 36 against Tunkhannock. And how about he gets to the line, Paul, 158 times this year.
Wow. That's a lot for a little guy. Usually your taller players go to the line. 11 points for Johnson in this game. And 8 of those here in the third quarter. Looks like Nanticoke could play for the last shot. 15 seconds and counting. Krupinski's up top.
GAR needs a stop.
Krupinski drives, but Young is there.
Good job by Young using his feet. They're going to call foul on Young.
And Young makes some contact there.
Yeah, tried to keep his hands in, maybe bumped him a little bit.
Okay. So that's Young's second foul of this game. It's only the third foul of the game for GAR.
So an opportunity here.
Kuczynski will toss it in. Inside quick to Krupinski, turn and score for the senior. And that will end the third quarter with Nanticoke leading GAR 54-46. Stay tuned for the fourth quarter. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY.
The Battle of the Valley All-Star Classic, presented by Joyce Insurance, is back for a second year. The Senior All-Star Game pitting the Lackawanna League against the Wyoming Valley Conference in a girls-boys doubleheader is scheduled for March 31st at Lackawanna College at 3 for the girls and 5 for the boys. Follow NEPAbasketball.com for details on as the game approaches.
Okay, so the fourth and final quarter starts. Nanticoke has an 8-point lead. Their biggest of the night has been 10 points. And they'll get it into Nate Kreitzer. Johnson has been tight on defense on him all night, and Johnson gets the steal. Johnson straight to the basket, and he gets it to convert. Will Johnson has taken over here in the second half.
As you might expect from the district's leading scorer, I like the way he quickly went to his dominant hand to get the layup.
Jake Krupinski drives. Oh, he was fouled hard. It was Adamson that got it. You could call it on Young, but I think they're going to call it on Adamson.
I'm okay with that foul. You don't want to give up any easy basket at this point, and you need fouls probably to get to Nanticoke into the one-on-one at some point in this quarter. Here you're going to see the drive, and he maybe jumped a little bit too early. Definitely got him from behind.
So Krupinski goes to the line. He's 1 for 1 tonight.
64% on the season coming in. His high for the year, Paul, 17 points against Old Forge.
He makes the first. That's 18 points tonight for Jake Krupinski. And he makes the second. 19 points, 7 rebounds so far for Jake Krupinski.
A lot of these players from Nanticoke are also multi-sport players, some soccer, but some baseball, a couple football in there.
Will Johnson launches again. It's no good. Clangs off the front of the rim. Kreitzer pulls in a rebound.
Kreitzer could have ran if he wanted to. Probably a good job slowing this game down because it's the clock against GAR.
8-point lead here. Nanticoke well in control. They've led just about the whole game.
Trojans won the division last year for the first time in 15 years, believe it or not. They're trying to go back-to-back. And what a year, what a great 4 years for this senior class. As sophomores, they made a nice run to the Final Four in the PIAA. They have not won the district title, but they've been around the 20-win mark every year.
All right, John Beggs wants a timeout here and didn't like what he saw. And it looked like his team was being very deliberate on that possession, as if they're all ready to start winding down the clock. It's only an 8-point lead with 6:45 to go. You don't want to start counting this one as a win. Let's see how Nanticoke has done lately. I mean, all in all, pretty good. They have won 3 of their last 4.
Of course, they lost to Redeemer and Wyoming Seminary, as did the GAR. We know how good they are. And, you know, the most likely it's going to be Wyoming Seminary or Holy Redeemer who win Division III, and they'll go to the Wyoming Valley Conference tournament. Whoever wins the division out of Division III, Paul, in the second place, they'll probably go as well. The division winner here will also go to the conference tournament, and there you see what the Trojans have coming up. 2 games left. The tournament is next week. They're at Tunkhannock, and then they're taking on Wyoming area.
So Thursday and Saturday, and then we'll start looking at postseason action, which you'll have the league, and then you'll have the districts, and then you'll have the states, taking you right into late March.
And Nanticoke, of course, went to states again last year.
That time of year. Now, the snow hasn't really backed up the schedule too much. I think every team has maybe 1 game to make up or so, but
well, last week was the big one. A lot of these games this week were supposed to be last week, but overall, yeah, it's been, you know, this week helped with the good weather.
So Nanticoke will resume possession.
GAR wants to get into it, Paul, back into it. It has to start on the defensive end in this man-to-man. They need to get some steals, get some easy baskets, and really get the defensive rebound too.
Krupinski with the ball up top.
Because Nanticoke's very well schooled in the backdoor cut.
Here's Kreitzer dribbling with the left hand. Dixes it out to Bilecki. Bilecki steps up to Baczynski. And Baczynski called for the double dribble, and it's a turnover.
That's where it starts for GAR. caused the turnover.
You can really see GAR dial up the intensity on defense.
Coach Beggs just did not like that call. I couldn't tell if he double dribbled. Referee was right there.
Okay, Will Johnson picks it up. Dishes it quickly inside to Smith. Loses the ball. No whistle blew. It looked like some contact, but apparently not. And Kreitzer has the ball.
Yeah, that one I think may have been a whistle.
Kreitzer fakes the shot, drives to the basket. No good. Buczynski on the rebound and the putback for him. 13 points tonight for Buczynski and 6 rebounds.
And he's done a nice job on the board.
10-point lead is the biggest of the night for Nanticoke.
Now they're letting him. Now you got to watch, because now it's getting a little too physical as we have Johnson down underneath his basket.
Johnson made a lot of contact in there fighting for that rebound. Shaken up, standing up, wiping off his face right now.
The thing with the officials letting them play, Paul, is that now it could get out of hand and emotions get involved, as Buczynski does a nice job on the defense, on the offensive board with the easy two. Now the referees, you might see some more whistles taking place, because you don't want these kids to get too emotional and start fouling too hard.
So Krupinski drives, and he's called with the contact here. He'll go to the line. He'll shoot 2. Curtis Smith committed the foul. And Trahan Krupinski is 1 for 2 from the line tonight. 9 points in this game. Honored before the game on senior night.
Now, the Nanticoke faithful getting on the GAR players are trying to explain. They thought it was a huge hop for Krupinski. And it was kind of a big hop. But I don't know if that's a walk, though, Paul, because you still get your 2 steps.
And he misses the second. 11-point lead. Nanticoke starting to pull away here in the 4th. 5.5 to go. GAR picks up the pace. O'Day for 3 is no good. Johnson on the rebound, the putback, and it's good for Will Johnson.
Timeout, Grenadiers.
Quick timeout there. Will Johnson has really stepped things up. Jared O'Day had the room to shoot. He keeps a low trajectory. Johnson pulled in the rebound. Johnson's really turned up the hustle.
Not much boxing out tonight on the defensive boards. That was a little bit too easy for Johnson, but give him credit. He was in the right spot. And there you see the GAR coach talking to his team.
Johnson 12 points in the second half, 15 for the game.
Well, he surged ahead, and the 3-pointers have slowed down a little bit too, Paul. A little more penetration, a couple more fouls than in the first half. 8 total so far. 6 on GAR. They're not going to foul yet, but at some point they're going to have to put Nanticoke on the line.
You're going to see Nanticoke start being more deliberate on offense and avoid the 3-pointer. You don't want to miss those, so you take a higher percentage shot. At this point in the game, you have a 9-point lead, 5:26 to go, so they're going to want to work the clock and not turn it over, not miss shots.
Kind of the game we expected. Open-ended, up and down the floor. What you might expect in the Wyoming Valley Conference, Division II.
Tyler Young, number 11, wants to bring back the short era of the 70s in basketball.
He's got his thing going, man, I tell you.
Rolls up his basketball shorts. The old Kareem Abdul-Jabbar look.
Hey, they come out on the full court press trying to get a turnover. But, you know, Nanticoke's very well coached, well schooled in this, and there's a lot of experience on the team.
Altavilla has only used 6 players tonight, so these starters have to be mostly tired.
Well, he mostly goes 7. Of course, Karan Smith got hurt last night.
Kreitzer right to the basket, and he'll score that one. He had made 3 3-pointers in a row, that one only for 2. 16 points for Kreitzer. There's Young for 3, and he makes it look really easy. Maybe everyone should wear shorts like that. 4th 3-pointer for Tyler Young tonight. He has 16 points.
Try to set up a trap at some point. If you're GAR, they do, but Kreitzer breaks it.
Krupinski with the reverse, no good.
Opportunity now for the Grenadiers. That's a foul, probably a good one by Krupinski to slow down Johnson. They have some fouls to give now.
Johnson talks a lot. He talks to his teammates, his coaches, the officials. You see what he did right there, but that was a foul on the play.
Here you go on the fast break.
Yeah, Jake Krupinski got the hand in there.
Yep. Well, it went to slow him down.
Smith for three. That's how you do it. That's his second three of this game.
Back to 5, and that's pretty much what Nanticoke has done. Led GAR back. Grenadiers, though, can't get within 5.
Nanticoke led by as many as 11. Now Nanticoke leads by 5. 4 minutes to go.
Let's see how tired, though, maybe GAR gets. As you mentioned, they played just 6, and they did play last night.
Their feet still like they have energy in it. There's Jake Krupinski with a three-pointer. It's no good. Johnson up the court. Spin move to the basket. Johnson converts it.
That's a highlight reel there.
Beautiful play by Will Johnson. Gets GAR within 3.
8-0 run for GAR.
Hold on, this game's not over yet. You mentioned GAR makes the comeback on defense. Well, they've done that. They've created turnovers and gotten up the floor and converted. Krupinski with the rebound. It's missed. Jake Krupinski also misses.
3 chances, 3 misses, but they get the board back. GAR needs to grab the ball. Now Kreitzer's just going to slow it down. Here comes the double team. Johnson will take Kreitzer now.
Baczynski up top here. 3 minutes to go in this one. We have a 3-point game. Baczynski with the drive.
On
and
the
he's
floor.
Fouled on the floor, not in the act of shooting. That's going to be called against Tyler Young. His third. Will take a break. We'll come back with the final 3 minutes as Nanticoke tries to hold on to a 3-point lead. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV, WQMY.
Tonight's High School Hoops game is brought to you by the Toyota RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
2:58 on the clock here at the Baczynski Gymnasium, and Nanticoke tries to hold on to their lead. Will Johnson pulled in the rebound, hustled up court. He might be the fastest player in this game. Awkward shot, left-handed, lobbed it up, and look at the intensity. He has been dialed up and dialed in this entire game.
And this half, Paul, I don't know what he has scoring-wise, but it's an 8-0 run now. And they're, for GAR, they're going to start putting Nanticoke on the line. And it's going to start with Baczynski, 73% on the season.
Will Johnson, 14 points in this half. 6 in this quarter. There's Baczynski making the first free throw. 14 points for Baczynski, 5 rebounds. Back to a 4-point game. Second one is good.
Going to come down to free throws. And if GAR can hit a couple big threes again, or some big shots at least.
Curious to see if GAR will be attempting threes at this point. That's what they've done all night. Young decides to drive but loses the handle on it. GAR keeps it. Johnson launches one. We had a whistle before his shot attempt. I'm not sure what they're going to call.
Going to be against GAR
A shove.
on the screen.
Okay.
A little shove before Johnson's shot.
So they are in the bonus here. That was Sean Adamson with the contact there.
Let's look at this one again. So Young,
There's Young.
loses it.
Yeah.
It goes back out.
Adamson.
Oh, they're going to call Adamson out of control.
Yeah. The collision. So GAR inbounds it and turns it over. Oh, Will Johnson was called for a foul on that inbounds. Okay.
His second, Paul. So that will put Kreitzer on the line.
Kreitzer's first trip to the line tonight. He has 16 points in this game. 4 3-pointers. And he makes the first, so he will get a chance at the second. 17 points now for Kreitzer. Back to a 6-point game. Only a few seconds ago, it was a 3-point game. The second one is no good. And Adamson pulls it in.
Let's see if Johnson just sets and tries to shoot a 3.
Smith. O'Day in the corner, goes baseline, And his shot is no good. Offensive foul called. I think that would be our third offensive foul of this game. All of them against GAR.
Grenadiers getting frustrated now. The whistles are just not going their way in this last minute and a half or so. Plus the crowd's getting on them. They have to watch their composure.
Jerry Altavilla unhappy with that call. It's just part of the aggression, the way GAR plays. They are full speed. They come right at you.
Well, they didn't foul a lot in the first half, but they fouled a lot in the second half.
Johnson on the steal, right in, uncontested, he makes the basket. Will Johnson with 8 points in the fourth quarter, 19 on the night. And John Beggs wants a timeout. Well, so we'll keep it here. Will Johnson has just stepped up. You know, the point guard, he works it. He actually has 4 rebounds, but 19 points now. Takes it away from Krupinski. And Baczynski doesn't want to commit the foul there and makes him lay it in.
Stares him down, lefty, goes in for the easy layup. Now let's take a look at the standings, and we see Nanticoke right there in 4A.
Well, Scranton Prep right there on top, but Nanticoke is only 2 games back of them. And it should be a good postseason tournament here. Lots of good basketball in this area. Very competitive, good crowds, very intense. Night like tonight, not too cold to come out, come to the gymnasium, enjoy a little basketball.
GAR is 4th in the standings, Paul, right behind Valley View. Valley View won last night. They have a couple more games left, so it's pretty wide open in 4A. You know, Prep is right now leading the districts. They're not playing really good, their best basketball. Nanticoke is right in there. Valley View can, you know, they're playing Abington tonight. They beat Wallenpaupack pretty good last night. GAR is a very good team. So I think any of the top 4 can probably win the district, make it to the arena at least.
There's Kreitzer. Up top to Baczynski. O'Day guards him. Baczynski draws it back. He wants to see if GAR will extend that defense, and they do. They have to at this point. Under 2 minutes now. Here's Krupinski. Smith guards him. Krupinski in front of the Trojan bench, but he's trapped by Johnson. Krupinski tries to pass it out. O'Day dives in, and I think they're going to call O'Day for the foul.
Yeah, they're going to get O'Day, and that will double bonus time now for the Trojans.
So Jared O'Day commits his second foul.
Well, O'Day's just trying to go for the ball. Got to be aggressive at this point and get some steals down 4.
Watch O'Day come in from behind and shove Dylan Shahusky. So Shahusky will go to the line. He's the only starter who hasn't scored in this game.
And Paul, he's just a 43% free throw shooter on the year, 6 of 14 on the season.
And he makes the first, and so he has his first point of the game on senior night. Honored before the game, along with all of the seniors, basketball players and cheerleaders. And he's 2 for 2, so at least he has 2 points to brag about on senior night here at the Baczynski Gym.
Still a 2-possession game, though, for GAR. They don't need to chuck up 3s yet.
They need to be smart and pick the right one. I don't know if that was the right one. Johnson was very off balance, and Krupinski gets his 9th rebound.
They were looking for a foul.
You're going to see Nanticoke really slow things down now. Baczynski along the sideline, and we're going to get another foul here. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Will Johnson committed his 3rd foul. And Baczynski will step to the line. Baczynski 2 for 2 tonight. 15 points for Colby Baczynski. And now it's a 7-point lead for the Trojans. Nine points in the first half for Baczynski, and 7 in the second half. Krupinski gets the rebound.
When the ball's bouncing your way, the ball's bouncing your way. They just didn't box out, and it went right to them, and Coach Beggs is going to call a timeout.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he definitely wants to explain what to do here. 1:08 to go in a 7-point lead. It's time to work the clock, and you have to believe that GAR will start fouling here. And Coach Beggs wants his good free throw shooters on the floor.
Here's what we have coming up on my TV, WQMY. On Saturday, Paul and I will be in Bucknell country in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. It's a men's-women's doubleheader. Boston taking on the Bison, Lafayette taking on the Bison as well, 2:30. Then it's Work College Hoops. It'll be Paul and I on the call at Keystone College next Wednesday at 6. And then the final game of our NEPAbasketball.com high school hoops, Abington and Scranton Prep, probably for the Lackawanna League Division I title. It always comes down to the Cavaliers and the Comets. And why not again? That'll be a jam-packed gymnasium at Scranton Prep.
All right, so Nanticoke inbounds to Buczynski. Young guards him, not attempting to foul yet.
Oh, they're down 3 possessions. You got to stop the clock at some point.
There's Kreitzer, makes the cut down low, and he has the basket. 9-point lead in the final minute, and Johnson loses the handle as he drives. Turnover to Nanticoke. O'Day fouls Buczynski from behind. Starting to celebrate here in Nanticoke, crowd on their feet, feeling a win with about 43 seconds to go. We might have had a technical call. Yes, technical foul.
Now GAR has to watch as you see that nice backdoor cut by Kreitzer. The seniors have to gather themselves now, Paul, for GAR. You don't want to get kicked out because you can't play the game. The next game, you don't want to be kicked out. There's still some big games for GAR. They could end up playing Nanticoke at some point in the district playoffs as well. So technical foul was called.
O'Day also got the technical foul. So Buczynski misses the first, makes the second. And now the technical fouls. Kreitzer will shoot that.
Well, the bad thing is Kreitzer will shoot, and then the Trojans will get the ball right back. So it's going to be an uphill battle now for the Grenadiers with 42 seconds left in this game.
Kreitzer makes the first. He is 3 for 3. I'm sorry, 2 for 3 from the line. 20 points in the game now for Nate Kreitzer. And 21. So Nanticoke will get the ball, 43 seconds to go.
So on senior night, it's the way you want to go out. You never know on senior night how things will shake out. Maybe you have too much emotions, you get a bad start, but this is an experienced Trojan group. They've been in the States, they've played for district title. Going to get a jump ball, and we'll go over to GAR.
So GAR didn't want to foul, down by 12. 12 is the biggest lead of the game for Nanticoke. And the possession arrow favors GAR, so they'll inbound it. Johnson, straight to the basket. Soft defense, so the basket is good, and they call Kreitzer for the foul.
If you're Kreitzer, you just have to get out of the way. Just let him take the easy basket. You don't want to stop the clock, even though you're up 12.
Yeah, he's a little surprised at that. But. And there's your technical.
Yeah, they were going after the officials. They got some calls go against their way the last 3 minutes of this game. And again,
I think that's against Will Johnson.
Yeah, this game's pretty much over. Now you got to look towards the next game and the next game after that. You don't want to hurt your team.
So Will Johnson will shoot the free throws he was supposed to shoot, and he makes that. But now we'll head to the other side, and Nanticoke will shoot the 2 technical fouls, and it's Kreitzer who will go to the line for that.
Once again, Kreitzer shooting the technical foul for the Trojans.
Kreitzer 3 for 4 in free throws. And he's good. 22 points tonight for Nate Kreitzer.
Again, Kreitzer, next level, probably within the area.
23 points.
One of the Division III schools, and he'll be a pretty good shooter.
All right, and Nanticoke will get the ball.
And they're going to bring in the senior who started the game to end the game on senior night, Fontaine.
Brandon Fontaine comes in, and Coach John Beggs wants to finish the game with seniors on the floor.
Jake Kaprinski came in off the bench, played pretty well, didn't he, Paul?
Yes, he did. Going to add it up here in a moment, but I think he was high scorer.
Yeah, I think our players of the game are going to be Kreitzer and Krupinski, and they want Fontaine to score, and he can't. Now if you're, just get out of the way.
Oh, missed the shot, but Smith on the rebound and put back.
So in the first half, Paul was raining threes. Second half, not so much, but Nanticoke pulled out ahead and kept the lead.
And that'll end it. Final score from the Basinski Gymnasium, Nanticoke 74, GAR 65. We'll be back with some post-game interviews. You're watching High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY.
This is High School Hoops presented by NEPAbasketball.com.
So they're celebrating in the Basinski Gymnasium as Nanticoke has just defeated GAR 74-65. I have the Astor Wealth Advisors players of the game. It's Nate Kreitzer and it's Jake Kopinski. First of all, Jake, you had a really good game coming off the bench. Do you like being the sixth man?
No, I'm usually a starter. It was just senior night tonight, so we gave one of the seniors a start tonight, and I came off the bench and a couple of sessions later.
19 points and 10 rebounds. Is that a normal night without breaking a sweat for you, or how do you feel about that performance?
I feel great. That's something special. I usually don't do that. I usually score around 10, 11 points. 19's a little out of my area.
All right, congratulations on a good game. I also have Nate Kreitzer joining me here, where the three balls were just raining down for both teams tonight. Yeah. How's a game like that come to develop?
Yeah, both teams shot really well. I think it comes in preparation before the game throughout the week, and we really got shots up during this week, and we're really prepared to shoot well in the gym that we usually shoot well in, and last couple games we weren't, so we knew that it would start clicking soon.
For you, 23 points and 4 rebounds. They were playing that man-to-man defense. So was it setting up screens, or how did you find the open floor to get those shots off?
Yeah, coming off ball screens and off ball screens, really just running around. I knew that they would get a little tired and they would be a little relaxed on defense if we started moving the ball a lot. So that really helped coming off ball screens.
Here we are, final week of the season. What's this win against GAR mean to your season?
Really big win, but we got to go out and win the next 2.
All right, congratulations on a win and a good game, and thank you so much, Nate Kreitzer. And I'm joined by Bob Ide tonight. Bob, did we see enough three-pointers for one night?
A lot of three-pointers. Seemed like everyone was shooting threes except for me and you, and put him in that first half. Slowed down a little bit in the second half, more of a conventional game, but then Nanticoke just pulled away with their good defense and their good foul shooting at the end of the game.
So how does this set up these two teams now to head into the postseason next week? Nanticoke, certainly 74 points, has to make them confident.
Yeah, they're going to be the favorites in the next 2 games, and if they win out, they'll win their second division in a row. They'll go to the tournament, and of course, head into the District 4 4A tournament, and it depends on what seed. You know, it's going to be 1 through 4. GAR is going to be right there as well. Grenadiers have that big game on Friday against Myers, which anything can happen. That's the final meeting between the 2 schools on the basketball court. Of course, they'll merge next year, the athletic programs, into the Wilkes-Barre Wolfpack between Coughlin, GAR, and Myers, so that's a big night for them. But I think either of these teams could win the district. Prep and Valley View also right in there.
All right, so a good game here tonight at the Basinski Gymnasium in Nanticoke, where the Trojans beat the Grenadiers 74-65. Make sure to tune in Saturday afternoon right here on MyTV WQMY. Noon college basketball, Bucknell against Boston University. On behalf of producer extraordinaire Steve Phillips, thank you so much for joining us. He's Bob Ide, I'm Paul Grippy, and you've been watching High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY.
This is High School Hoops presented by NEPAbasketball.com.